And here we are, live right on time. Same bad channel, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, with the PDOCS Livestream series. Now, really quickly, guys, and I know right when these things kick off, especially this week with not much announcements, and I talked about that a little in the post earlier today. I'm not sure how many people are going to be tuning in. And as I always say, any questions or anything you want me to cover or elaborate on, or any thoughts, drop down in the comments, and I will be chiming in and replying to those throughout the live stream. And again, this was supposed to be a guest expert week. For anybody that might be watching that didn't see the post, the reason I didn't do any announcements as I normally do through the week about the topic, the guest, etc. This guy I've been trying to get scheduled in is probably one of the bigger guests I've had on in terms of his following and revenue generated and results, yada yada yada. It's been a little difficult due to schedules and timing. So anyway, didn't make the announcement because it didn't get confirmed until today, when it got confirmed that things weren't going to work out and we're already rescheduling. So kind of last minute, I threw together something I would like to cover and I thought would deliver some value, and something I wanted to kind of announce. This document, as again I said in the post earlier, and many of you guys watching may not have seen that, but as I said, I just put this together yesterday, which made it very relevant when today someone canceled on the live stream. I was like, well, awesome. I just created this new thing yesterday. Almost nobody's seen it if they're not a private client. And as we can see at the top, where I'm kind of hovering my mouse at the top of the title of the document, this is for students only. So there's some things in here I'm going to share what I can, but I'm also not a hypocrite. If I create certain resources for my paid members, I'm going to keep it for my paid members. Now, the cool thing about this, and something else I said in the post, was, man, if I had a resource like this just to start, especially at what we charge for, the price of a cup of coffee basically a day, or $50 per week to get into our programs. Funny, I was doing a DM setter call earlier with a bunch of setters, and I was showing them where I was closing deals when this was still 6K very easily, and people were shelling out 6K up front, or 3 payments of 2K, or whatever that was. And it's weird now, for $50 a week I get more questions and more objections. It's kind of baffling, and we all know why that is if you've been in the space for a while. But it's just odd to see the difference in perception when you change the price of something that's probably worth thousands and you give it away for pennies on the dollar. It's interesting, but that comes back to human psychology, perception, everything we're talking about. The cool thing about this was, as I said in the post, what I did is I really scoured through all the resources that our private clients have access to, which is quite a bit. Then I went through the customer feedback. I reached out to past clients. I went through the data and what actually got people the most results, which was the most impactful resource, tutorial, SOP, framework, what led to bookings, what led to closed deals, what led to paying clients, right? And all those things. And then I kind of condensed those down to the core 5 things. Now within there's a couple more resources that I'll cover briefly, but I listed 5 things on this document. And I know number 5 is like 3 parts, so number 5 has 3 resources. So yes, all in all, it's more than 5 resources. If you knew everything my clients have access to, I don't think I could ever condense it down to just 5 things. But once people are in the program and start implementing and learning these things, this is what's had the most the most impact in terms of monetization and return on investment. So as I've put this out, I just threw this together, but again, through scouring that, through doing this research, through speaking with clients, and through condensing this down. And I just dropped this off to my private clients who are already paying yesterday. So as I said to them, hey, these are probably some of the best resources that you guys have access to, and you likely don't even know it or haven't seen them, right? So basically, as I said, before I drop the links into what I think is most relevant, or what they may not have seen they have access to, or what they might not have dialed in, or maybe, a lot of people that come in my program don't necessarily know or speak with a lot of my past students and clients and see where they've had success. So I have the, ability to still be in contact with them. It's cool hearing back from some of them a year or 2 later and how they're still implementing this and where they've grown from there to there. For example, one guy I brought up today joined our program. This was back when it was 6K. By the time he was done within 12 weeks, he had already made over 6 figures, over 100K. So that's obviously a significant ROI. And then when I went on to speak to him a year or 2 later, he was opened up 4 new locations and on pace to do 20 million a year in revenue. That was certainly an extreme example, but going back and being able to speak to the guys who have had the most success and have grown the most, and have them say, hey Ray, this and this were the most impactful. Or hey Ray, looking back, knowing what I know now, if I realized I had that thing, or if I utilized this resource, it would have shortened my learning curve. It would have led to results quicker. So all that being said, as I say to my private students who this document was basically created and intended for, again, willing to share some of this stuff, and I'll let you guys know which things I'll share, and I'll go drop those down in the comments here. But as I say here, before I drop the links and everything I recommend, never forget what you get access to in the paid course, the Kajabi portal, and tutorials, the PDOCS motherboard, and in the private group that only my paid members get in, not this free group where you might be watching this, or maybe if you're watching on YouTube, but my private paid groups has a guide section, and Guide 2 specifically has a ton of resources. So obviously for my private clients, I put the link to make sure that they're in that group and they're checking it regularly. Number 2, I go on to say the Google Drive folder with lots of additional goodies just for the PDOCS CAM members. So again, I'll just open that up real quick. And they can see past PDOCS live streams, any particular topic or guest. Everyone is stored there. They get access to all of our weekly group call sessions that have multiple other business owners and coaches and experts and service providers sharing what they're implementing. Then a lot of the framework. So I'm stuck on content creation. Here's my tutorial on that. I want to understand the eco framework and have a document. Here it is in doc and PDF version, right? I want to understand how to effectively engage my new Facebook group members and have an SOP for that, right? I think this is really important. Still a lot of things people overlook in terms of efficiency, productivity with their time, their calendar, and things like that. So I give an overview of that. Execution of a messenger 2-step script. Facebook groups, entrepreneurial-based and service-based businesses and digital businesses and SaaS that I recommend for research, for prospecting, for engagement, for networking, all those things that we do. The full knowledge gap to eco tutorial build out. The organic content creation strategy, and on and on and on, right? So there's a handful on creating the CCO method. For any of you guys that aren't familiar, this is our framework for how to create lead magnets, basically. We call it the customer creation offer. By getting feedback from the market, we know exactly what to create that's of value. So that's a really good resource when you're building out a sales process or honing in your process on your existing offer, and you're like, hey, what resource do I create to create value, intrigue, to get them to take the next step in the call to action in my process? Boom. The offer building worksheet, which is great for crafting, offers. I've crafted over 300 different high ticket offers based off of this particular framework and strategy. So they get access to all that stuff, right? Which is also, some of them are aware, some are not. The things I'm willing to share is probably from 3 down. Now, definitely number 5 I'm going to share with everybody when I get down to that. What I would say for anybody watching, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook and you want one of these resources specifically when I go over them, I'm happy to give one to anybody of these. I'm not going to give everybody multiple things that are for private clients, but happy to give you the one that would offer the most impact. And number 3 and 4 are really 2 most intricate, elaborate, deep dive resources after, again, what are the starting paid, resources, the Kajabi portal, the motherboard. So before I get into those 3 and 4 really quickly, let's just show you what that looks like for anybody that's never seen, like kind of inside of our programs. So within the Kajabi, the client acquisition method or system, they get access to, these are our core tutorials that have been in our high ticket thousands of dollar programs that I've now revamped and condensed, taken out what's not working, updated newer strategies, etc., etc. There's about, 10 modules roughly plus bonuses, and there's a couple within each, right? But really quickly, you'll understand, an overview of PDOCS if you're new to us, the knowledge gap analysis, which we all know is probably the number 1 resource that we can do with our private clients, and the number 1 thing they say in here that delivers value in their messaging and how they book. Leads into the whole booking and the PDOCS process that we talk about throughout the eco, the micro commitments, etc. Supercharging or building your offer, how to become an authority in any group, our How Hero outreach framework, the eco script in a little more depth, setting up, systemizing, and scaling a Facebook group, whether you're at any stage of starting from scratch, just you have one but it's not dialed in, or you have one but you're ready to go into scale mode and monetize it more. The micro commitment overview, the PDOCS motherboard, which again is a super powerful resource. sell anything. My best tips, tricks, and tactics, after over 10 million in closed deals myself here in the last handful of years, so on and so forth. And then the motherboard, some of you guys have seen that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I want to get back to that main document. And this may look like a bunch of gibberish to a lot of people, but really quickly, again, this is one I go through a lot because I teach and we talk about it a lot. But just where I'm hovering my mouse there, if I'm just to zoom in on the EcoScript itself, right? I mean, has a full board about engagement and ways we get that, and starting through transitional messaging, screenshot openers that have worked, cold outreach and gaps to direct to DMs, how to start that, and then how to get into your knowledge gap analysis, and then how to take that down into your eco script, and then how to take that down to the call to action, and then the obligation or accountability phase. And then again, I talked about this a minute or two ago, but the CCO method, how to create the right resource. So as you'll see in here, it'll say, especially in step 4, sorry, I was down in 5, insert CCO link. We should be sending a resource here. And again, if we don't already have that, or we're not sure what that is, down below is the exact framework to go create that for you and your offer. So again, those are some of the resources that our clients already have access to. And guys, we're kind of reopening enrollment here, closing out December and going into 2025 with a lot of cool new options and bonuses and really helpful tools in terms of support and implementation to helping you guys get results. I mean, that's what these programs are all about. You can say or do whatever, but if you're not getting people results and you're not leading them to their objective, what is that right today? Is that to book calls? Is that to close more calls that are already being booked? Is that to overcome objections better? Is that to dial in my offer? Is that to build my outreach system? What is that right now? And then let me give you the support and implementation to knock that out and get on to the next step. So getting into these number 3 and 4 that I spoke about in these really extensive documents, this one in particular, the PDOCS Method Blueprint, is approximately a 52-page doc, as if we're starting from scratch, right? So the PDOCS Blueprint for starters, how to hit your first 10K a month in the most streamlined process. And again, just going over this week, refining it some and speaking to clients about this was certainly way up there on the list, and that's why I'm discussing it. It's a little longer than 53 pages. I was off by one. I said 52. It's 53. But either way, this is super, super extensive of everything you need to do, right? The PDOCS method, and the real method to the madness here is rinse and repeat. We identify the PDOCS, or the pains and desires. We build out effective transitional messaging that converts. We validate the concept. We optimize and tweak it for better improvement, and then we scale. We scale organically, and then we launch into paid ads with a lot of the ideas and the messaging we validated organically. Think if I can flesh out my messaging through active conversations, through optimizing, through speaking to my target market, and then making the subtle tweaks organically, and then telling me, hey, this is the phrase, this is the the intellectual property, this is the verbiage, this is what dialed me in and made me want to book a call and speak with you. Once you hear that over and over, you can just take that message, that hook, that angle, go right into paid ads, right? And it's already going to work. You already kind of know. You don't have to test. You don't have to split test. You can pretty much build out ads based off your best organic messaging and copy, content, etc. So we knock through what to expect and how to build out your daily expectations, and then give you all the blueprints to do that. So day 1, boom, 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 building out your schedule, scheduling out your power hours. You guys may think these are, little either redundant or, trivial things, but these are the foundations that lead to success in all of our clients. It's funny, the people that actually do these little things, like actually identify their power hours, their chronotype, batch out their blocks for when they're most effectively, and again, doing your real heavy lifting in your power hours when you're dialed in. I know what mine are. I know exactly, and I'm actually recording and doing a live stream in my power hours. All this stuff is not just for practice. Not just for preaching, but also for practice. Like, these are all things that I do, and it's ironic looking back on it, because I started implementing this stuff years ago, and it's just part of my daily routine, and I don't really think about it, but a lot of people aren't doing these. So mapping out your unaware avatar. You always talk about in PDOCS, moving somebody from unaware to problem aware, or problem aware to solution aware, or et cetera, et cetera. How to attract clients, and then how to create new clients. Once we can create our own clients, that's when you really have dialed in a predictable, consistent acquisition system, right? So guys, anyone watching on the live stream that might have been tuning in, I'll go check the comments momentarily. Just let me know you're there. Drop a 1, a live. If you have any questions or comments, or again, any kind of one resource that I cover with these documents, this one is probably what I'd recommend, especially if you're in that starter range or even under 10K. You don't have to be a starter, but if you still haven't cracked those 10K months and you've been at this a while, this is probably the resource for you. And again, this is super, super in-depth. And again, I like things that build out like the expectations and give me the blueprint, like it was showing day 1, day 2, day 3, do this, do this, do this. And then the documents and the links to go actually execute, how to make your own copy, reverse engineering realistic KPIs and setting those. So guys, all the foundational stuff, and I'm not going to sit here and scroll through 53 pages. I went through maybe the first 10 pages in a super quick overview, right? And just kind of show you what's included there. And that's a super relevant resource if that's where you're at. Now, our auto organic implementation guide is a little bit different. It's not quite as in-depth, and I would say this is better if you've already got results, you've already got success, and you're looking to really double down and scale that and build out an auto organic system. So if I'm still kind of starting from scratch and not validating my messaging, yes, this will still help as much, but I think that prior doc for the under 10K, or the starter guide as I called it, again, you don't all have to be starters. When I say starter guide, that just means you haven't really cracked 10K months yet. Maybe you've done it once, but you're not doing it consistently, and it's not kind of a rinse and repeat method. So this auto organic guide is about 32 pages, and this is all the process that we build out on little softwares and things you can do to beef up your initial outreach, whether that's extra Facebook accounts, whether that's VAs, whether that's softwares, whether it's using VPNs, all the kind of little tricks you need to kind of scale, right? So we start off talking about the micro commitment here, where I wouldn't dive right into that in part 1 with the setup with a kind of starter or a newcomer into the space, or somebody that doesn't have a proven booking and closing process. Our micro commitment process is 6 steps. I usually teach this on a slideshow, and this isn't a lesson about micro commitments, but just really quickly, it's our 6-step marketing and sales process. It's more of a sales process, but all of our sales start with marketing. We got to create engagement somewhere. So again, as it says here, do you have the knowledge gap needed to create real engagement? Engagement that actually engages, not the kind of fake engagement like a like or a passive comment, but something that's actually, something that actually dives into a productive conversation. Engagement can be via ad, via your organic post, via a comment, via a cold email, via a cold DM, right? I could go on and on. Then we like to assign the new frame. We move that to a call to action, which for us, this step 3, pardon me. For us, this step 3 is usually a triage call in most of the sales processes and teams. Then from a triage call, if we book to step 6, the close call, we would also be putting in the alignment phase and assigning homework, right? So for more info about our micro commitment process, I have plenty of trainings. Just comment below or in the comments if you want that, and I'll include it or shoot you over the link. Setting up your profile and your openers using knowledge gaps. So again, this is everything from the entry level of building out scalable organic systems. You guys probably know, anybody that's been following us, and PDOCS for a while, before it was called CAM, it was called Fundamentals. Before it was called Fundamentals, it was called Auto Organic. Auto Organic was when we first launched this product and this offer in January of 2021. And Auto Organic, the first year we ran that, we only had a 7-day $100 challenge, so a low ticket front end 7-day challenge, and we had a 6K back end offer called Auto Organic, right? The first year we launched this, we did 1.6 million cash collected and 2.3 million invoiced. Now, the cool thing about me just scouring and going through all this and putting a lot of time into this over the last week and speaking with people is I was able to streamline this. As I do anytime we evolve our products and our programs, I go back and stuff that I was doing in 2021, there's certain things I'm certainly not doing and is not working. That stuff isn't in here anymore. So we've streamlined what's still effective, or maybe some things have been added in that I've learned or I wasn't implementing in 2021 when we first put together this initial guide. So I've just streamlined this for best effectiveness again, and this is a great thing to build an auto organic outreach system and to start to get not just yourself effective, but other people, a team, softwares, VAs, and all the things you can do to turn this into auto organic, right? So basically, again, really quickly, it's like paid ads without the paid ads. It's a way to scale your company that you can't do organically by yourself. I got to a certain level organically, Jesse and I, where that's all we could get to ourselves. We either had to start running paid ads, start to build a team of setters, or doing more, because you can only do so much organic. But the effective aspect is your organic actually converting, booking appointments, so on and so forth. So again, we have the what I would call the starter's guide, or the under 10K, the blueprint. We have the auto organic implementation guide. If either of those resources you guys actually see value in it and will use it, I'm happy to share that and give that to anybody watching here in the free group or on the YouTube channel for free. You just have to comment below or reach out to me. If it's on YouTube and you comment below, I will reply in the comment, obviously, but you might want to shoot in your email or your Facebook contact information so I could DM it to you, whatever you would like, right? But those are super helpful. And the last thing I'm going to cover here real quick, and that I organized here was, you guys know, or some of you may know, some of you may not. If you're watching on YouTube, you obviously know, but if you're watching here, you may or may not know that I have a YouTube channel. So I upload pretty much all these live streams, a lot of my best tutorials that I create for clients, for private students, some of my best private sessions, everything I can do over there to deliver value and give people free resources to get results. Obviously, YouTube is free, right? That's number one. But number two, I try not to put my less effective or my more mundane conversations and lessons onto YouTube. I usually don't. Now, after going through and looking at the data, the comments, the feedback, and the client results and interaction I've had with him, I want to say, I don't know, YouTube, maybe I have 150 videos up there total over the year, 100, 150, I don't even know my number. What I will tell you is, in regards to organic outreach, the PDOCS method, and everything I've covered up till now and kind of glossed over or covered, I would say these are the three best, YouTube videos that I put together, and especially based on the feedback, that's where I'm going most. Now, YouTube's data is also helpful. Their analytics, where you're getting more views, more comments, more engagement, more likes, that's probably your better content, no doubt. I use that first, but then I go back and check with the people who commented, who liked, who replied, who asked for that specifically, and kind of ask them, did you get something of value? Did you implement? Holy cow, Ray, I did that. I actually showed a screenshot yesterday to my team. Something I did this, showed a guy last week, and he implemented. He showed me a screenshot, or I can show you the screenshot. He DM'd me saying, hey, Ray, just implemented what you said, and I'm already getting positive responses. 10 minutes later, Ray, update. I just had a booking come through that, and somebody's booked in my calendar for a sales call on Friday. So these are the type of things that get people results pretty quickly, and I hear feedback and have screenshots and, real life conversations with them showing me. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to pause for a second and just check in the comments, see if anybody's watching, has any questions, comments on what I'm covered, wanted any of the resources. And in addition, what I will do in there is I'll go drop it at first. The first thing you'll see in the comments down there will be my YouTube channel, in case you weren't aware of it or you're not using any of that stuff. I will drop that in there where you can see all of these ones on my screen, or you could just ask me to send you the links to these specifically, but much easier currently if I just go in here and drop the full channel, and then you can just go search out by most viewed or by the title, right? Next Level Organic. Everything you need to know about appointment setting, organic outreach that actually works, right? A lot of people do organic, and that's the number one frustration is, Ray, I'm joining groups, I'm adding friends, I'm creating content, I'm commenting on posts. It's not leading me to any discussions or any conversations, right? And that's what we want, is what actually works. So I focus in on, I believe that video, if I'm not mistaken, has 3 key areas that lead me to the most success. I might have covered a little more than that in there, but I can think of them off the top of my head. Is my sniper outreach approach, my DM voice note outreach approach for the initial voice, for the initial cold DM. And then I think in that one I also cover how to take your Facebook group, let's say you have one, or you could create one and do this, but this is more for people that already have one. Again, what's covered in here and what I talked about, we have all the resources you need to create one from scratch, but it's how to turn your Facebook group into an actual funnel that turns into monetization. And a lot of people are overlooking some simple strategies and tactics to do that. So I think those are the most effective and really just valuable YouTube videos that are for free on my channel. And for my private clients, I just wanted to streamline the best 3 and say, hey, if you haven't seen these or you weren't aware of them, boom, here they are, all here on one doc. In addition to the auto organic 32-page implementation guide, the PDOCS blueprint for starters or under 10K months, 53-page guide or blueprint. So if anybody watching here on Facebook would like either of those resources, the starters for under 10K or the above 10K and maybe looking to scale with organic, drop a comment and I will make sure I get that sent over to you. And lastly, the other thing I'd like to cover is I talked about an announcement and some new features and deliverables and things like that coming out. And what I'm talking about there is a new AI platform that we are going to give beta or initial access to you guys, any people in our initial private programs, anybody in our initial communities and groups, whether they're free or paid. So I will have a demo video and some more information coming out about that soon. But I think, speaking to my team and speaking to a lot of our clients and students, that's been one of the missing pieces. Is not to say we're not using AI, because we certainly are, but we don't necessarily have it embedded into our program and how our clients can use it. Basically a full AI board of a whole bunch of different apps that can kind of do everything you need. It can research clients' websites. It can create images. It can create VSL scripts. It can create content posts. It can create landing pages, copy. I could go on, but I'm gonna lay out a demo and I'm gonna drop that to you guys here first in any of my PDOCS communities or any of my private students at a severely beta entry-level discounted rate, which I think is going to be really, really valuable for anybody that spends a lot of time with any of those things, creating images, content, videos, posts, on and on, landing pages. Hell, it's got its own CRM in there, so you'll have your own CRM if you don't want to be paying for, or you're not paying for, a Go High Level or a HubSpot or a Pipedrive or the number of other ones I could sit here and mention. I probably shouldn't give you guys all the competitions. No, I don't really care, because theirs are way more expensive and not even near as good as what we're going to be offering, which is cool. We're offering everything on that board, all those different features of AI, powered in real time and getting constant updates in the back end through knowledge-based learning applications, and all that is going to be for the price of under what you would probably pay for any GHL or HubSpot or CRM per month. So as soon as I have the demo video ready to go, I'm going to drop that with you guys first. But why I said that's kind of the missing piece is that goes hand in hand with a lot of the things I've covered here today, right? When we're creating messaging and content, like what type of homework do I create? What type of videos? Having AI that can go do that and make it look a lot more polished and professional, realistic, futuristic, whatever look you're going for, you can now pull off. So I think all those things are going to be really, really valuable. And if anybody's watching and they're not familiar with our PDOCS, client acquisition method program, that I've been covering over and over again here, that all of this stuff, everything I covered and more is covered under, but the PDOCS acquisition method system or program is $50 per week right now. You can come in and get access to all of this, a one-on-one kickoff call with myself where we build out your own game plan, weekly group support implementation calls where I'm sharing and screen sharing and showing you what's working for me, or you guys are showing me what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and I'm helping you tweak it so it is working. Just live, continual, weekly, continuous implementation and support sessions. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. I'll get you the link. Check out the landing page, see if it's a fit, 100%. If you're watching on YouTube, I will just drop the link to that down in the description, and you guys let me know if you wanted any of those individual resources. So I've been going about a mile a minute and talking a lot, and again, not a lot of prep for this week, not a lot of leeway in terms of the announcement on what I was going live or covering, so I know we don't have a ton of viewers on here, but let me check one more time if there's any questions, comments, or anything going down here. So it says we have 10 views, only a couple of live viewers, and the only comment was to my YouTube channel. So again, if you want to check out those 3 YouTube videos I had mentioned, there's the channel. If you want the specific links to them, just shoot me a DM or drop a comment and I will get those, or any information about the programs or the future AI demonstration video. We're going to be sharing that with you guys here first, but if you kind of want to be put on the waiting list or initial access, just shoot me a message and a reminder so I'll keep you top of that list. And guys, next week we should have our guest. I'm pretty sure that one's all locked in. I don't think what will happen this week will happen, next week on the live stream, but we should have an announcement for you Monday or Tuesday. And the one thing I always want to hear, no matter where you're watching, is out of what I went over today, what can you take away that's most valuable, that what you can implement And or which of those resources on that primary document I covered here today do you think is most valuable and would offer you the most value? I always love to get the feedback from, whether you've utilized this stuff or whether you just saw an overview and you kind of know how you would use it and implement it. Any feedback would be welcome, and I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you on next week's PDOCS live stream. Same time, same bad channel.